Hello everyone, welcome to this online course on material science. This is lecture 6 in the module 1 about magnetism. If you recall, in the last lecture I have presented the Langevin model of the diamagnetism and told you that I'll be starting the quantum mechanical models of diamagnetism from this lecture. So the first question is to ask that in this course, my plan is to explain the atomic diamagnetism rather than the diamagnetism in a solid, which requires a bit more advanced formalism. And also in my first lecture, the introductory one, I have mentioned that I will keep this course as self-contained as possible. That's why my plan here is to give you the basics of quantum mechanics that is needed to understand the diamagnetism, right? So to begin, I want to make some general comments about the subject quantum mechanics, right? So if you look at the history, around 1925 and 26, Schrödinger and Heisenberg, they formulated the quantum mechanics, right? And this is 2020. No doubt there are many deep and unsolved mysteries in quantum mechanics, right? Even today. And those are the foundational aspects of quantum mechanics. And I want to quote here from a very famous physicist, Richard Feynman. He says that, I think I can safely say that nobody understands quantum mechanics. He really was referring to these deep unsolved mysteries of the quantum mechanics, right? But his approach was like, shut up and calculate. So he was saying, okay, if you don't understand this deep thing, well, let's try to calculate something and compare the results of your calculation with the experimental data, right? And the surprising thing is that the damn thing works pretty well. So this quantum mechanics, the framework, works really well explaining the experimental data. So that's like the driving point for us, right? Because these foundational aspects are very difficult and we have many interpretations by now of the quantum mechanics, but there are still a lot of debate which is going on and there are deep unsolved issues there. But in this course, our approach will be like, yes, so it's kind of computational framework. For us, quantum mechanics is a computational framework where we will have a set of postulates and rules to understand the nature. So I will present you the subject in such a way that you will have the minimum amount of understanding of quantum mechanics to understand the diamagnetism, right? And in doing this, I must say this is not a course on quantum mechanics, right? And for standard quantum mechanical courses, it can last for 3 semesters, right? So I'm not claiming that this is any way of a course on quantum mechanics, but to explain things that are required to understand the magnetism, I will use this approach called the Kanban approach. I came across the approach first from Professor Umesh Vazirani from the University of California at Berkeley. So what is this Kanban approach actually? So this approach tells us that, okay, let us explain. So if the Kanban approach to quantum mechanics, what does it mean? So in this approach, first we need to know from how much of the quantum mechanics, what ideas in quantum mechanics we need to know to understand magnetism. So if we fix a goal first, right? These are the things we want to understand. So you have to know the things that is necessary. Then we will take the rules or the framework of the quantum mechanics as a set of rules and to perform the calculation, right? And then while doing this calculation, we will gain more and more experience. And then depending on one's like aptitude or like one's interest, they can read from different references, right? But in this course, my approach will be to give you the minimum set of rules in quantum mechanics so that you can understand the fairly standard books in magnetism, right? So this Kanban approach is really helpful, that because it kind of gives you the best possible way to balance between what we need and in our ability, right? So many of you know about these things, but as I have mentioned before, that I don't want to assume that any previous knowledge of quantum mechanics is required here to understand the magnetism. So I will try my best to give you the minimum set of rules, and I will try to go very slowly so that things are a bit more easier for you. And also, I want before I end this lecture, I want to give you some references. For example, let me go through the standard text. So there are plenty of good books, like the classics, starting from written by the Dirac himself, and then there are many different books. But I just want to give you like a set of 5 books that I came across in different times. The first one is the Quantum Mechanics by Gwen Tanuzzi and others, and then we have one with the Griffiths from University of Cambridge Press, and then we have one with David Miller from the Stanford University, and we have the one from our Professor Shankar in the Yale University, and then the last one is Walter Gaynor. Beyond these 5, there are, I told you, like hundreds of textbooks in quantum mechanics. Feel free to choose any one you like, and then just you can be on your own. And also there are some nice online lectures, on video lectures in YouTube from different universities. I just want to mention a few here. So there are some by Professor Barton Zwiebach from MIT, and James Binney from Oxford, and also from the Professor Balakrishna from IIT Madras, India. So these are the references, but as I've told you, you will see in the lectures to come, I'll be really explaining this thing very slowly and gently, so that you have sufficient time to understand these things. And then if you feel that you need to understand or you need to know more, then you can go through one of these references, and that should do the job, right? So this is my approach here for tackling the required quantum mechanical knowledge to understand the magnetism here. So I think that's about it, and thanks for listening.